God bless America.
Right shoulder forward. Forward, forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, you get any sharper than that, you will get cut. Joint Service Military Honor Guard. Come on, folks, let's hear it. I know it's chilly, but everybody's Irish today. Let's loosen up. Old Guard, pipe and drum, Military District of Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, pipe and drum, Old Guard, United States Army, 3rd Infantry. Next in the line of march, they need no introduction. Manassas Police Department, Honor Guard, take care of us while we're awake, home and sleep. Nothing but the finest. Our Grand Marshal and his lovely wife really need no introduction. Our Grand Marshal is the former Mayor, Dr. Melvin Gillen, and his beautiful wife. He has served as mayor from 1996 to 2004. Dr. Gillen was born in Manassas and is a graduate of Osborne City High School and VMI and the Virginia School of Dentistry. He loves this city and will never forget it. I love this city and its residents. I feel honored to have been able to serve as mayor and school board chairman. Today, the city of Manassas thanks you, Dr. Gillen, and your lovely wife for all your dedicated service and years. Also riding with him is his grandbaby, his beautiful granddaughter, Molly. Driving, Dr. Gillen is Amanda Dean. She was Amanda Lee Conroy, my baby girl, but April 17th, she's Amanda Dean. I'm adjusting to that. But she was Miss National Park, Miss Cardinal Bank. Now she's Mrs. Max Meadows of Southwest Virginia. Did I say everything right, man? Next in the parade, VFW Approach 7589, made up of all true combat veterans from every war we got. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand and applaud from your hearts. Lance Corporal Cunningham, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Jamonville, 3rd Marine, 6th Marine, 2nd Marine Division. True veterans of Iraqi freedom. Please clap with all the hands. 2 fine, highly decorated Marine Corps veterans. They represent a very powerful unit in our country, deployed all out the world to give us the right to be here today. There's no greater song. The only colors I know, ladies and gentlemen, will never run. United States Marine Corps, highly decorated true veterans. The only colors I know that'll never run. Post 10, American Legion, made up of all true veterans. Our celebrity Grand Marshal. Here they come. Driver Jeff Brown supplied all the vehicles from Battlefield Ford, and he's driving Pat Fisher, number 37, the only man I know that still gives Harold Carmichael from Philadelphia nightmares. Pat Fisher, a living legend, played 15 consecutive seasons and one of the greatest cornerbacks ever to play in the NFL. He was a Pro Bowler, 64, 65. Also 69, I have my thumb on it. Pat Fisher, ladies and gentlemen. Last man out of the tunnel because he was smoking a Winston. Next, our celebrity Grand Marshal, Ron McDowell, the original Dancing Bear. If you clap loud enough, he will do the Dancing Bear. Holds the record for the most interceptions by a lineman. I didn't know they were that smart. He also played in 3 Pro Bowls. His record of 156 consecutive games is the 3rd in all-time history. A fine Irishman. His main thing was, I'll meet you in the backfield. Wake the quarterback up. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a great round of applause. United States Paralympian Joe Arquart. He is an amazing man that has let blindness prevent him from achieving his dream of representing us in our Olympics. He won numerous medals in competition worldwide. Most recently, he represented the United States in a 400-meter relay in 2004 in Athens, Greece. A true American hero, ladies and gentlemen, with his beautiful children. Next in the line of march, Congressman Tom Davis. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you. Elephant. Gumbo. Is that you, Congressman? Already, elephant. Got you, sir. Virginia State Delegate Harry Parrish and his beautiful wife, driven by Frankie O'Neill. Never forgets Manassas, our state delegate. Advancing to the reviewing stand, Northern Virginia Firefighters, Emerald Pipe Band, the Washington area's premier Irish pipe band drum. They're dedicated to drawing attention to our Irish heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. Our mayor and his wife Sherry, our first lady, and mayor of Manassas, Douglas Waldron. Not too many people will leave their dinner in bed for you, but a fireman will. Manassas Volunteer Fire Department, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's hear it now. We can tolerate a little noise. Ladies and gentlemen, next in the line of march, Manassas Therapy Dogs. They visit nursing homes, the centers for all sick and shut-ins, and what they do is put a smile on a sad or lonesome heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Manassas Therapy Dogs. The banner bearers are the National Banner Bearer Champions. They just came back from the national trials and if you will applaud, they will do the maneuver that won them their national championship. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Manassas Therapy Dogs, banner bearer champions of the nation. There's my beautiful wife, my guardian angel, Anna Marie Teresa Conroy, with her attack miniature dachshund, Marie. Next in the line of march, Trisore Belgian Malinois or Malinois. They're great dogs, very intelligent, very sharp, very agile, and I have one. Beautiful, beautiful dogs. All branches of the military and security service use them because of their alertness, tracking, and intelligence. Longevity is a great, great factor with that breed. Super Cycles, Northern Virginia's first unicycling show troupe under the direction of Tracy Deering. They offer lessons as well as great community performances. They've been performed even at the White House for our president. Northern Virginia Super Cycles. Let's hear it now. Come on, let's hear it. Look at them. Come on, let's open up your hearts a little and applaud. Let's hear it. 6 years old. That's what dads do, lift you up when you're down. Now school by Stance. Come on, let's hear it. Time all you girls get up with them curls in your hair. Next in the line of march, Mets Middle School Chamber and Fiddle Club Orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know what it'd be like to come on a cold day like this with a fiddle, it's rough. Mets Middle School Chamber and Fiddle Orchestra Club. Let's hear it now. Bringing up the rear of that fiddle club is the Osborne Eagle. Let's hear it now. This is their first event. It's a lot to come up here with a string orchestra like that. It's a cold day. Let's hear it. Next in our line of march, Manassas Hogs. I guess you know what they do. Let's hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the reviewing stand, United States Marine Corps Honor Guard, representing the greatest amphibious to land fighting force since the Roman Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, the only colors I know that'll never run. United States Marine Corps. The only ones that never have reverse in their doctrine, ladies and gentlemen. Next in the line of march, University of Notre Dame Alumni Band. And they will play the greatest fight song in college history. Notre Dame Alumni Marching Band. And if you don't know this fight song, fall out of the parade. it, we know it. Cheer for Notre Dame. Ladies and gentlemen, Notre Dame alumni marching band. I know there's a couple old quarterbacks in there. Next in the line of march, Nation Order of Hibernian, State Board President J.J. Kelly, Treasurer Rich Alexis, made up of all true Irish Catholics, ladies and gentlemen. Nation Order of Hibernians, Virginia State Division, Father Kelly Division, a very close place in my heart. The bass drummer is played all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't think it was ever the drum. Also, we lost a fine member of that division, Bob Kelly, charter member. Ladies and gentlemen, the colors of your country. Colonel John Dow Division, Colonel Fitzgerald Division, Father Corby Division, Monsignor Francis Brownigan Division. Next in the line of march, there's also a Nation Order of Hibernians. I don't know how this group ever got into this parade with the Redskins. Everybody knows. Would you please put your skirt down, hon? Put your skirt down. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows who the Hogettes are? They're here. Driven by my son-in-law, Jacob. Jacob Dean. You better do what you're supposed to. Ladies and gentlemen, Redskins Hogettes, another vehicle by Battlefield 4, driven by my son-in-law. Hail to the Redskins! Double of Old Town. I'm wearing one of their sweaters. Great Christmas present. Thank you. Their husband, Mary. Let's hear it now. Homeschool Valley Van. They've been in our parade every year. They're made up of area homeschoolers and their parents. Let's hear it. Homeschool Family Band. Daisy Troop, 6404, Brownie Troop, 5259, Girl Scouts of Manassas. Let's hear it now, come on. And I know everybody knows about those cookies. Please buy those cookies. Okay, keep selling them cookies now, Brownies. I already have. 10 o'clock at night, I eat them. What time do you get up to make your hair green? Now we're going to give you a little bit of our sponsors. Please go to these places. They really support our parade.
George Brent Council, Knights of Columbus, Manassas, and the Father Kelly Division, Ancient Order of Hibernians, our chief sponsors, and show patronage to our other parade sponsors, Chadwick's Restaurant, Christopher Real Estate Company, Creative Surfaces Incorporated, Dublin of Old Town, Falcon Communication Solutions Incorporated, Fat Punk's Restaurant, Jake's Seafood Restaurant, KC's Restaurant, Liberty Tax Service, McGrath Academy of Irish Dance, Metro Sign and Design, Milwaukee Frozen Custard, O'Mara's Restaurant, Philadelphia Tavern, Prince William Annenberg Manor, Mike Riley and Mickey Krause, Shamrock 5K Run, Synergy Federal Credit Union, the Irish Collection, Wilt Harley Davidson, and Williams Industries Incorporated.
Brownie Troop 3760. Everybody wrote all those sponsors down, too, put in the wallet, right? Next in the line of march, Spotlight Dancers under the direction of Bonnie and Lisa. They're sponsored by the Prince William Park Authority. This is their 6th year in the parade. They've been in our parade every year, ladies. Let's give them a big hand. Spotlight Dancers. Everybody's Irish today. That's clap. It's a lot to get out here cold. Start applauding now. Come on, they did a great job. Bull Run District, Boy Scout, and Cub Scout. Let's hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, the colors of your country. How you doing, Chief? I think last year he was a werewolf. Along with the Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts is their attack Welsh dog. Advancing to the reviewing stand, Prince William County Honor Guard and our Sheriff, Sheriff Hill. Prince William County Honor Guard, the colors of our country. Let's hear it for our Sheriff and his beautiful white cruiser. Thank you, Sheriff. I know the Sheriff got you up early to clean that white cruiser up. Great job. Please look in your program books. They're really powerful this year. There's a lot of great advertisements, and there's even like a buy one, get one, things like that. So please look in your program books. Advancing to our reviewing stand. Washington Scottish Pipe Band, formed in 1928. They're made up of pipers and drummers and Highland dancers from all over the area. Folks, Washington Scottish Pipe Band, honoring the Irish today. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington Scottish Pipe Band, let's hear it. The colors of your country, ladies and gentlemen, passing in review. Please show proper respect. Advancing two of reviewing stand. Dual treks of Manassas. The jump rope team. Coached by Lynn Parker. Boy, look at that redhead up here today. Come on, let's hear it. Let's give them an applause now. It's a lot of practice. I know because I do it every day. Come on, try it one more time. Come on, let's give her a hand. I think she's getting mad at me. Next in our parade, JFD fire truck. It's an antique truck, ladies and gentlemen. I think he said right so far, not a fire. National Blade Synchronized Figure Skating Team. They are from Prince William County, and they compete all over our country. The true Irish dance group, Royal School of Irish Dance, ladies and gentlemen. They have classes all over the area, and I believe they even have some in Manassas. Royal School of Irish Dance. clap for them. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for keeping our Irish heritage so alive. Royal School of Irish Dance. Look at all these pretty girls. Yeah, we've got some handsome boys in there. We know that. They're the ones chasing the girls. Let's give a big Irish hand. Let's open your hearts up. Look what's bringing up the rear. Go ahead. There are the two little Murphys going by. All right, next in our parade, advancing to the reviewing stand, they need no introduction. They are the Sweet Potato Queens, ladies and gentlemen. They started in Jackson, Mississippi over 20 years ago. They are now over 6,000 worldwide. This group comes from Gainesville, Virginia, and they walked all the way here early this morning. Look at those moves. Just follow the vehicle, man. He'll take you right to the bar. Sweet Potato Queens, ladies and gentlemen. You know, every woman would love to get out there and do that. They're trying to dance, ladies and gentlemen, to Aretha Franklin's Respect. So if we can hum it or whistle it, they got the moves. Next in our line of march, Prince William Dance Academy. Come on, let's show some support here. Let's clap. That's a great hat, young man. Prince William Dance Academy. Nokesville, Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. That's a long ride. Come on, girls, let's step it out a little. Let's hear for him, ladies and gentlemen. Prince William County Dance Academy from Nokesville, Virginia. Some proud parents. Let's get your hats and t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody be Irish today. Everybody's Irish today. Advancing to the reviewing stand, Fremont Retirement Village. They take care of our loved ones. Let's give them a big hand, ladies. There's lots for them to come out here today. Fremont Retirement Home. Your burglar alarm works, right? Fremont Retirement Home. Everybody wave to them. A lot of our loved ones stay there. Higgins Fire Truck. Ladies ladies and gentlemen, with the Higgins family, I assume. Let's hear it now. Metz Middle School Marching Band, under the direction of Chris Short, playing March of the Irish Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Manassas City School System, Metz Middle School Marching Band. Let's hear it for them. Folks, this is their first performance ever as a marching band. Let's hear it for our school system. Come on, let's hear it. This is their first time ever in a marching band. Metz Middle School Marching Band. Next on our parade, Amara's Restaurant and Pub. Accompanied by their Attack Pub. I think he had a few drinks this morning. Accompanying them is Travis Tucker, our American Idol. And I know everybody in Manassas voted for him. Goes to the University of Virginia, and he will be back. We enjoyed your entertainment, sir. Next in our line of march, Marching Jim.
Hi, Daryl.
Let's hear it for the Marching Gym. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, Miss Junior. Come on up here. Hold that sign up proud. You're Irish today, right? Handsome little devil here carrying the banner for Tiny Tots. Let's hear it. He's got two pretty women behind him. Tiny Tots, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to look in your program books. There's a lot of good ads and advertisements from our patrons. One of them coming towards us right now, Milwaukee Frozen Custard. I believe if you buy one, there's a coupon in there to get one. Milwaukee Frozen Custard. Milwaukee Frozen Custard. How you keep that ice cream from melting? Two leprechauns. Thank you, sir. Next in our line of march, Relay for Life. Relay for Life raised $165,000 last year. Ladies and gentlemen, June 10th and 11th, Stonewall Jackson High School. Please show up. Relay for Life. Look at them handsome banner bearers. Relay for right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Riley, the truck is very clean this year. Great job. Relay for life, ladies and gentlemen. Liberty tax, ladies and gentlemen. You only got to April 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, medical missionaries. They go all over the country and help people. We provide with medicine. Medical missionaries, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, how you doing, buddy? I see you get up real early and clean the clean. Thank you, sir. Windows and sedans, toy service. Advancing to the reviewing stand, Annenberg Manor. Annenberg Manor, ladies and gentlemen. A tradition of caring. They take care of our loved ones. Let's give them a big hand now. There's a lot of residents in there. Please wave to them. Annenberg Manor. Thank you for taking care of our loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, advancing to our reviewing stand, please show proper respect to our colors. Bishop Flaherty, 4th Degree Assembly, led by our master, J.P. McCusker, commanded by Dick Quintana. Made up of all true Catholic gentlemen. Bishop Flaherty, 4th Degree Assembly, Knights of Columbus. Ladies and gentlemen, the colors of your country. In my hand, ladies and gentlemen, you get any sharper than that, you will get cut. Virginia State Deputy of our Knights of Columbus, Ray Walkoff. Riding with Ray is the Master of the 4th Degree, J.P. McCusker. Watch your sword, Master.
And don't forget our chief sponsors of today's parade, the George Brent Council, Knights of Columbus, and the Father Kelly Division, Ancient Order of Hibernians.
Ladies and gentlemen, in front of our reviewing stand, beautiful, beautiful Irish ladies. McGrath School and Academy of Irish Dance. Officially credible Irish Dance Commission in Dublin, Ireland. Enrolled to learn Irish dance. You can call different numbers, but they are located throughout the area. McGrath School of Irish Dance. Let's give a big hand. Dancing with the beautiful ladies is our brother knight, Mike Carter. Well, let's hear it now. The Graf School of Irish Dance, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, hit it now. Come on. Come on, that's applaud now. Everybody's Irish today. Grab School of Irish stand. Advancing to our reviewing stand. Irish Wolfhounds, ladies and gentlemen, the world's biggest dog, but the most tenderest one. Ladies and gentlemen, Irish Wolfhounds, the original breed club dedicated to the health, welfare, and rescue of Irish Wolfhounds. Next in the line of march, he need no introduction. He already walked here from Ireland. St. Patrick's, ladies and gentlemen. Round Elementary School Student Council Association, accompanied by St. Patrick. Got our runners here. Our house early this morning. If anyone needs a program, Colonel Riley, right there, he has hats and t-shirts. I'll need one to get in the bar today. To Ronnie, requested by her husband. And I think he will sing it if we can start him off. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ronnie. Happy birthday to you. Pat, that's your 5 hours work now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for coming out to our parade. Please pray for peace in Ireland. Never forget our brave military, deployed throughout the world, giving us the right to be here today. And never, ever forget when we were attacked on 9/11/2001. And the brave men and women who are deployed with their families right now, please remember them and pray for peace in Ireland. A nation once again.
Things are growing at the 6th Annual Spring Fling Lawn and Garden Show and Sale, sponsored by the Virginia Cooperative Extension on April 23rd. Bring the family for a day of fun, featuring lectures and demos by master gardeners, kids' activities and crafts, and don't miss the lawnmower races. That's April 23rd, 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Prince William County Fairgrounds. For information, call 703-792-6285.
It out anymore.
Okay.
It's guaranteed for 20 years that it won't clog and be free-flowing.
Okay. Now, how is it attached to the house?
It's attached with brackets on the inside of the gutter with screws that are screwed to.
Good morning. Welcome to one and all. I'm Mary Lively, Program Chairman for the 2005 Black History Program. On behalf of the Black History Committee, we welcome you to our annual Prince William County Black History Celebration. We are honored to have as keynote speaker the Reverend Cornell Brooks, who will be speaking on the nationally proclaimed 100th anniversary of the Niagara Movement. And I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the dignitaries that are in the audience and have supported us and continue to support us in our efforts. Prince William County Exec, Mr. Craig Gehart. And I would like for them to stand, please, so that you can recognize them. Supervisor Maureen Cadigan, Dumfries District. Supervisor John Jenkins, Dale City. We have also our Sheriff, Glenn Hill. We have also the former county attorney, Sharon Tandak. We also have John Harper, former vice chair of the school board. We have our director of Department of Social Services, Mr. Keith Sykes. We have a representative, Mr. Edward Crowin, who is representing Corey Stewart, our Opticon. And I'd like to acknowledge some folks, and I'm not sure as far as looking out in the audience, but I do want to recognize them. And that is welcoming Dr. Sam Hill, who is the new provost of Northern Virginia Community College. Not in the house? Okay. Venus Miller, Dean of Student and Development of Northern Virginia Community College. Dr. Hortense Hinton, Provost of Northern Virginia Community College. And Dr. Victor Bibbett, Dean of Student and Development of Northern Virginia Community College, President of KPAC. He's here? Not in the audience. Okay. If there's been, I apologize for an oversight of any other ones that I have missed. Please stand if there are any other folks that were missed or overlooked. Okay. I am quite pleased as well to introduce the Master of Ceremony. Lieutenant Tony Spencer has been a member of the Prince William County Police Department for 21 years. He was the sixth black officer hired on the department. As he rose through the ranks over the years, he's had many assignments ranging from patrol officer, crime scene technician, and homicide detective. Tony is currently the deputy commander of the department's Criminal Investigations Division. Tony is a graduate of Concordia University, New York, New York, where he received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. He is a native of Detroit, Michigan. Tony has 2 children, and he resides in Prince William County. We are pleased to have him as our Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning to everyone. I'm sure we're all going to enjoy this program, and as it says, the Niagara movement, I'm sure everything that you've learned from here will help you move in your daily life and remember your heritage as we go on. At this time, we'll present the colors, but before that, the Prince William County Color Guard is made up of Prince William County Police, Prince William County Sheriff's Office, and Prince William County Fire and Rescue. 2 members on this team, Jack Fulmore, has been a deputy for 21 years, and he was one of the original members of this team. This is his last ceremony. So after 21 years, this will be the last time he will be presenting colors. Also, Master Police Officer Jimmy Shelton, and I stand corrected, Master Deputy Sheriff Jimmy Fulmore. Jimmy's retired after 28 years. This is also the last time he will be presenting colors. So before they do it, can we both give those public service? And at this time, we'll receive the colors.
On the go. 10. Ready. Go. Ready. Cut. Over. Start. All right. Ready? Detail. Go. Ready, set, go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hard time. March. Face.
Reverend Tony Craddock from the First Mount Zion Church will come forward and lead us in the invocation. My phone is off. But God is calling all of us. Let us boldly go to the throne of grace. Almighty God, creator of all life and sustainer of all things, we come at this hour to say thank you. We pause from our normal schedules of life and work to recognize your goodness and your mercy. We as a community recognize and appreciate the diversity that is among us and that you have graced us with. We thank you for the differences that are among us, and we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to work together. I'm reminded what your word says, that it is good for us to work together. And when we do that, the love of God shows through us as we work according to your purpose. And when we reach this point, we will know that we will be able to do all things exceedingly abundantly above all that we are able to ask or think, according to the power that worketh within us, and that's your Holy Spirit. Bless this nation and its leaders. Bless this world in every situation that it is encountering. Bless our soldiers as they defend the right of freedom. And thank you for this opportunity that has been provided for us as a community to recognize those who have given so much to the world, the nation, the communities, and their families. We thank you for the contributions of all African Americans and all people of color as they honor you through their service to all people. Bless this service today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please, everyone, stand and join in. Americans have recognized Black history annually since 1926, first as Negro History Week and later as Black History Month. What you might not know is that Black history had barely begun to be studied or even documented when the tradition originated. Although Blacks have been in America at least as far back as colonial times, it was not until the 20th century that they gained a respectable presence in history books. In 1905, W.E.B. Du Bois, a professor at Atlanta University, exasperated by Booker T. Washington's continued conciliatory policy towards whites and his enormous power within the Black community, called for a meeting of Booker T. Washington's critics at Niagara Falls, New York. The purpose of the meeting was to form an organization that would offer a militant alternative to Booker T. Washington's views. W.E.B. Du Bois called his organization the Niagara Movement, named after the falls where the meeting was first held. The group was represented by some of the intellectual elite of the African American community. The meeting had originally been planned to take place on the American side of the falls. However, the delegates were denied room accommodations by white American hotel managers. Therefore, they crossed over to the Canadian side where they were welcomed and received room accommodations without incident. The Niagara Movement was a major step on the road to Black militancy. Its beginnings may be traced to the publication in 1903, The Souls of Black Folk by W.E.B. Du Bois, the first Black American to earn a doctorate from Harvard. The book included an essay on Booker T. Washington and others, which attacked Booker T. Washington's Atlanta Compromise speech and accused him of abandoning the fight for Black political rights and accepting segregation in exchange for economic gain. It also represented the attempt of a small yet articulate group of radicals to challenge the dominant ideals of Booker T. Washington. At the turn of the century, there were divisions in African American political life. Those who believed in accommodation, led by Booker T. Washington, or the more militant group, led by W.E.B. Du Bois and William M. Tribe. Altogether, 29 men answered W.E.B. Du Bois' call. 30 others were invited but failed to make it to Niagara Falls. The Niagara Movement renounced Booker T. Washington's policy of accommodation and conciliation and his refusal to speak out on behalf of Black rights. The group issued a manifesto that read, "We claim for ourselves every single right that belongs to a freeborn American, political, civil, and social. And until we get these rights, we will never cease to protect and assail the ears of America. The battle we wage is not for ourselves alone, but for all true Americans. It is a fight for ideals, lest this, our common fatherland, false to its founding, become, in truth, the land of the thief and the home of the slave." World War I had dramatic effects on the lives of blacks. Firstly, the armed forces refused black inductees, but finally relinquished and put the colored folk in subservient roles. Secondly, while the war was raging, blacks in the southern states were moving north, where industry was desperately looking for workers. Frightened whites, led by capitalist instigators, were fearful that blacks would totally consume the job market. Thus, lynching ran rampant. Finally, after the war, black veterans returned home to the same racist country they had fought so heroically to defend. Despite its impressive beginnings, the Niagara Movement did not enjoy a long life. Booker T. Washington's determined opposition from the beginning kept any white entity from assisting them in any way. Even in its decline, the movement left a lasting legacy. The Niagara Movement was a forerunner to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. The NAACP inherited many of its goals from the Niagara Movement. In 1908, W.E.B. Du Bois invited Mary Ovington, a white settlement worker and socialist, to be the movement's first white member. NAACP founders were W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary Ovington, Dr. Henry Moskowitz, Oswald Billard, William Walling, and Ida Wells Barnett. By 1910, W.E.B. Du Bois had turned his allegiance to the newly formed NAACP, which consisted of black and white citizens who were committed to fighting social injustice. The main artery for distributing NAACP policy and news concerning blacks was the Crisis magazine, which W.E.B. Du Bois autocratically governed as its editor-in-chief for some 25 years. His hot, raking editorials oftentimes led to battle within the ranks of the NAACP Association. Besides this, the NAACP was at that time under the leadership of whites, to which W.E.B. Du Bois objected. He always felt that blacks should lead, and that if whites were to be included at all, it should be in a supportive role. W.E.B. Du Bois, using the crisis as his vehicle, hurled thunderbolts of searing script, scorching a dusty veil, and revealing the innards of a country whose quivering heart beats bigotry. He was of no mind to follow pedantically the association's views, and therefore wrote only that which he felt could lift the coffin's lid off his people. So biting and eloquent was his pen that subsequent reaction from his followers caused congressional action to inaugurate the opening of black officer training schools, bring forth legal action against lynchers, and to set up a federal work plan for returning veterans. The history of the NAACP is one of blood, sweat, and tears. The real story of the nation's most significant civil rights organization lies in the hearts and the minds of the people. On November 23, 1922, the NAACP waged a vigorous fight against lynching. This article appeared in the New York Times, Atlanta Constitution, and other newspapers in support of the dire Anti-Lynching Act. Today, NAACP is the United States' oldest, largest, and strongest civil rights organization. Their principal objective is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of minority group citizens. Currently, the NAACP has more than 2,200 branches covering all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Japan, and Germany. They are divided into 7 regions and are managed and governed by a national board of directors. The NAACP's headquarters is in Baltimore, Maryland, and has over 500,000 members. The NAACP is committed to achievement throughout nonviolence and relies upon the press, the petition, the ballot, the courts, and its persistence in the use of legal and moral persuasion. The NAACP principal objectives are to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of all citizens, to achieve equality of rights and eliminate race prejudice among the citizens of the United States, to remove all barriers of racial discrimination through democratic processes, to seek enactment and enforcement of federal, state, and local laws securing civil rights, to inform the public of the adverse effects of racial discrimination and to seek its elimination, and to educate persons as to their constitutional rights and to take lawful action to secure the exercise thereof and to take any other lawful action in furtherance of these objectives, consistent with the NAACP's Articles of Incorporation and this Constitution. Supreme Court Justice John Marshall Harlan was the 8th Princeton graduate to serve on the United States Supreme Court. Justice John Marshall Harlan and thousands of nameless faces who worked tirelessly cannot and must not be forgotten. Justice John Marshall Harlan is best remembered for his 1896 court declaration, the so-called separate but equal doctrine in defense of racial segregation, in which he denounced. In view of the Constitution, there is, in this country, no superior, dominant, ruling class of citizens. The Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens. In respect of civil rights, all citizens are equal before the law. The presentation that you have just viewed is in honor of Black History Month. Living as a biracial American woman, everyone in this audience is part of a nation. Your nation, my nation, our nation. We are a rainbow nation. From the speech of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream when all of God's children, black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So as we honor Black History Month, just let us remember we are all connected and that we live spiritually, indivisibly, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the program.
The Creative and Performing Arts Center Incorporated, pronounced KPAC, is a non-profit charitable organization created in March 2002 to provide cultural diversity in the performing arts and visual arts within the greater Prince William County area. They provide programming for children, teens, and adults. Today you will witness a performance from the adult section of KPAC. For more information on KPAC, see the table outside. I'm sure we will all enjoy this.
Imagine your home surrounded by beautiful, soft sand and lush green trees. Berries so sweet you can eat them right on the bushes. A river that flows in your backyard. Sleeping under the stars every night. Imagine your husband, the king of your home, your provider, your protector. Imagine your child, her soft, beautiful face, her voice filled with songs and laughter. This is my home. This is my family. Imagine one day seeing faces you've never seen. Put you on a ship. Destination unknown. Living for months in a dark hole. Water seeping through the walls from the ocean. Not knowing if your feet were attached to your body. The pain is so strong. Cuts on your back from the cracking of the whip. Now, smell of death in my air. Where's my family? Where's our home? Imagine seeing sunlight so bright it blinds you. Standing on a block of wood, surrounded by faces, laughing and pointing. Where's my home? Imagine seeing your husband, the king of your home. Age of 1,000 years. God, and the only thing you do is touch the side of sweet, beautiful face. Imagine a man showing off your husband's strength, touching your child, going through her hair, showing off her teeth. Where's our home? Imagine men taking your husband, the king of your home. You run and you reach for him, but you grab him and his last goodbyes are told through the darkness. Imagine your child screaming your name. Please, please, that's my child. Please don't take it from me. And you reach for him, but the crackling of a weapon. And you can hear her cry a mile away. He's home. Please, please, please tell me, where's my home? We didn't ask to be here. Please tell me, please. Please tell me. Where's my home?
Sweet China, coming for to carry me home. coming for to carry me home. I'm in the river, and what do I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels watching over me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
America, although she feeds me bread of bitterness and sinks into my throat her tigers too, stealing my breath of life, I will confess I love this cultured hell that tests my youth. Her vigor flows like tides through my blood, giving me strength erect against her hate. Her bigness sweeps my being like a flood. Yet, as a rebel fronts a king and state, I stand with her walls with not a shred of terror, malice, not a word of jeer. Darkly, I gaze into the days ahead, and I see her might and granite wonders there, beneath the touch of time's unerring hand, like priceless treasures sinking into sand. Claude McKay.
Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Were you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful pride. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it kind of hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend me? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the hut of history shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wild. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gift that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and pinned in an inglorious spot, while round us walk the mad and hungry dogs, make their mark at our accused lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us in death. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows, deal one death blow. What though before us the open grave? Like men, we will face the murderous, cowardly pack. Push to the wall, die, but fight back. Claude McKay.
A boy's summer song. 'Tis fine to play in the fragrant hay and rock on the golden load, to ride on Jack to the barn and back, or tramp by a shady road, to pause and drink at a mossy brink. Ah, that is the best of joy. Who's so fine, what so fine as being a boy? With line and hook by a babbling brook, the fishermen sport we ply, and list the song of the feathered throng, to flit on the branches nigh. At last we strip for quiet. Ah, that is the best of joy. For this I say, on a fine summer day, what's so fine as being a boy? Paul Lawrence Dunbar.
The Sandman. I know a man with a face of tan, but who is ever kind, whom girls and boys leave games and toys each eventide to find. When day grows dim, they watch for him. He comes to place his claim. He wears the crown of dreaming tale. The Sandman is his name. When sparkling eyes true sleepy wise, and busy lips grow dumb, when little heads nod toward their bed, you know the Sandman's come. Paul Lawrence Dunbar.
Warren House. You didn't go my and dry my fruitless tears, forgetting that I bear a pain beyond my years. You say that I should smile and drive the room away. I would, but the sun's smile has left my life's dark day. Paul Lawrence Dunbar.
I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me then, eat in the kitchen. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I, too, am American. Like good news.
Black history. My name is Johnson, Madam Alberta K. The Madam, that stands for business, because I'm smart that way. I had a hairdresser while till the depression went to put the prices low. Then I had a barbershop stand till I got mixed up with a no good man. Because I had an insurance, the WPA said, we can't use you wealthy that way. I said, don't you worry about me. Just like the song, you WPA folks take care of yourself and I'll get along. I do cooking, day's work too. Alberta K. Johnson, Madam to you.
Still here. I've been scarred, battered. My hopes, the winds have scattered. Snow has been freezing me and the sun is baking me. Looks like between them they have tried to make me stop laughing and stop loving and stop living. I don't care. I'm still here. Thanks for the
The Negro speaks of rivers. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep
like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo when it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it.
I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans. And I've seen this muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset.
I've known rivers, ancient dusty rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Thank you.
In the frame of mind of what's going on back then. For a minute, I thought water was going to run across my feet, and which really turns to the program presented by Charmaine and Nana, what the struggle was and the movement to get us where we no longer have to worry about anybody running into the home or pulling it out. Now we are leaders of the communities. We're important people to one another and to our families. And once again, we're here because of you.
You
Applause for Kate. Lawrence Boone, executive and acoustic director. Performances by Ebony Reed, Willie Collins, Terry Edwards, and Joseph Edwards. That was absolutely bomb. Or how the young kids say, off the chain.
Reverend Brooks earned a Bachelor of Arts with honors in political science from Jackson State University, and a Master of Divinity from Boston University School of Theology with a concentration in social ethics and systematic theology. While studying at Boston University as a Martin Luther King Jr. Scholar, he was awarded both the Jefferson Fellowship for Outstanding Scholarship and Excellence in Preaching, and the Oscar Leeson Fellowship for Outstanding Scholarship and the promotion of racial harmony. Reverend Brooks has also pursued postgraduate theological studies at Harvard, Yale, and Episcopal Divinity School. After seminary, Reverend Brooks earned a Juris Doctorate from Yale Law School, where he served as the senior editor of the Yale Law Journal. He then clerked for Chief Judge Sam J. Irvin III of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. In 1998, Reverend Brooks ran as a Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress for the 10th District of Virginia. As a graduate of both Head Start and Yale, he has been well positioned to campaign as an advocate for public education, affordable health care, and fiscal responsibility. Previously as Executive Director of the Fair Housing Council of Greater Washington, he conducted metro region-wide investigations of housing discrimination based on familial status, gender, ethnicity, and race. As an attorney for the U.S. Department of Justice, Reverend Brooks secured the then largest government settlement for victims of housing discrimination as a result of discrimination testing. Currently as an attorney with the Federal Communications Commission, Reverend Brooks led the FCC Office of Communications Business Opportunities. As a special counsel, he has been responsible for a wide variety of legal and policy matters concerning small business, media ownership diversity, and localism. For over a decade, he has served as Associate Minister of Turner Memorial AME Church. Reverend Brooks is a frequent speaker, columnist for the Potomac News, former columnist for the Northern Virginia Daily Journal. He currently serves on the Board of Directors of the AFL-CIO Community Services Board of Greater Washington and has served on the Boards of Directors for CASA of Greater Washington, Prince William County Red Cross, and the Optimist Club of Manassas. Reverend Brooks is also a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha and Sigma Chi Phi fraternities. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Reverend Cordell Williams Brooks.
As I was listening to that introduction, I was reminded of a story that Martin Luther King once told. I'm not sure how true it is, but it is certainly apt. There was an elderly woman in a Southern conservative congregation. And in this congregation, rumors began to spread about this virtuous elderly woman. of these rumors began to circulate that this elderly, virtuous, conservative woman had taken up with a vastly younger man. The pastor called in this virtuous, elderly, conservative woman and asked her if the rumors were true. She said to him, "Well, preacher, I have to tell you, the stories aren't true, but thank God for the rumor." I can't say that everything in the introduction was true, but thank God for the rumor. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon. I'd like to thank Mary Lively and Tony Clemens Porter for providing me with an opportunity to come to be with you, to partake of this celebration. I want to say to our distinguished county leadership, to our sheriff, to the county executive, to our members of the board of supervisors, to my friend John Harper, and I know there's someone else I'm missing, to the head of the Department of Social Services, and to these county employees. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of what is a historic occasion. Now, I have to say that because this program is put on by our county employees, those folks who are on the front lines of public service, I have to say to those who take care of our elderly, who take care of our young people, who provide the services that we seldom appreciate, so often forget, but desperately need. To you who provide those services, thank you. Now this afternoon I want to talk for but a few moments on that incandescent, inspired moment of black history told in Niagara. And for but a moment, I'd like to address the Niagara movement under the topic, hold on to your story. Hold on to your story. And if by chance on the way home this afternoon, your son or daughter, your neighbor, your friend, your grandbaby ask you, well, how did you celebrate Black History today? I'd like you to tell your friend, your neighbor, that we celebrated Black History by taking up 3 simple questions. Whose story is it? And what do you do with the story of failure? And finally, what is my role in the story? Now today I'd like to ask you to imagine, if you will, an illustrated story. Can you imagine a storybook, the kind that you would hold in your hand as you hold your baby or your grandbaby? Can you imagine a storybook, the kind that you read to yourself to inspire and touch your heart? Can you imagine a storybook filled with pictures of people whose faces are bronze, brown, ebony, cafe au lait, and even beige? Can you imagine a storybook which has an index in which you find the names of your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, relatives that you don't even know? Can you imagine a book in which the table of contents has chapters entitled freedom, democracy, dignity? There are even chapters entitled love, hope, and faith. Can you imagine such a book? Were you to hold in your hand such a book, it might have on the spine of the book Black History. But I can assure you that this book on Black history is a history of an American people, a people dedicated to democracy, freedom, and equality. And as such, that's not a book relegated to a shelf reserved for black folk, but a book to be held in our hearts as Americans. Can you imagine such a book? Can you imagine a book in which there's a picture of 29 men and a little boy? Men who by their bearing and dress, their dignified demeanor, were trying to assert to the world that we are first-class citizens and that we have a right to sit at the table of brotherhood in the temple of democracy. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This story begins like the stories you tell your children. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, 50 years before a young, slightly fearful, inexperienced preacher by the name of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King led a movement called the Montgomery Boycott. Once upon a time. 49 years before a handful of white men in black robes declared to a nation divided by black and white that separate is inherently unequal. Once upon a time, 59 years before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 declared that we can all break bread at the table of brotherhood in public accommodations. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, 60 years before the Voting Rights Act offered protections for that civic sacrament called the vote, that so many neglect and so many died. Can you imagine? Once upon a time. 63 years before the Fair Housing Act was passed within days of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., so that we might live in any room of this house of democracy. Once upon a time. 100 years before we, as the heirs of Thomas Jefferson, Martin Luther King, and W.E.B. Du Bois, gathered in this room in Prince William County, Virginia, there were 29 men who gathered at Niagara Falls at a time when bull-headed bigotry was the host and the hostess of nearly every American hotel. At a time when bull-headed bigotry was also the maitre d' in most restaurants in America. At that time, those 29 men could not hold this historic gathering on the American side of the border. They had to go to Canada in order to liberate America. Interesting. At that time, 75 to 100 blacks a year were being lynched at that time. There were race riots stalking the land in our cities and in our towns. For example, in 1906 in Atlanta, 10,000 American citizens who happened to be white stalked the streets of Atlanta, plucking any and every black to beat and humiliate, torture, and kill. 10,000 Americans, most under 20. The American Constitution, or rather the Atlanta Constitution, not a particularly liberal organ at that time, objectively reported that blood ran in the streets. And it is at that precise moment in history, 29 black men gathered to organize a freedom movement. Isn't that peculiar? And so for a few moments, I just want to take up these three questions. Now, I consider you parenthetically. Now, isn't it odd that we even celebrating this Niagara movement at all? Why? Because Booker T. Washington got to the Associated Press to ensure that no white newspapers covered the event at all. And so intimidated the black press that there was a blackout. So how are we here to celebrate the Niagara movement? Now I have to take up a rather difficult question at the outset. Whose history is it? Those of you who are historians know very well what I'm talking about. You notice that there were 29 black women who gathered at Niagara Falls. Not black women, not white women, not Asian men or Asian women, Latino men or Latino women. So whose history is it? Should black women participate in this celebration? Should white women participate in this celebration? Some might say it was an elitist movement. After all, you had W.E.B. Du Bois with his European and regal bearing and a Van Dyke beard. Du Bois, first Ph.D. from Harvard, studied at Fitz Phi Beta Kappa of the University of Leipzig in Germany. There was William Monroe Clark, a cocky, conceited, eloquent orator. When he arrived on Harvard's campus as a wealthy black son of a Civil War hero, took the campus by storm. His white classmates loved him. In fact, he told W.E. Du Bois, I don't have too much time to talk to you. Black folk at Harvard don't need to be clannish. And then there was a fellow by the name of Alonzo Hurley from Atlanta. It was strange that he was there at all. After all, he was a millionaire. He became a millionaire by doing the very same thing that Booker T. Washington suggested that black folk do. Use his trade as a barber. But not only did he use his trade as a barber to become a millionaire, he also bought an insurance company because whites were not insured blacks. And so you have this collection of these Ivy League Negroes talking about freedom and equality. So someone might ask the question, whose history is it? But if you look beneath the surface, you see some undercurrents. You see W.E. Du Bois saying, well, wait a minute, this can't be an all-male club. We have to have women involved. And so W.E. Du Bois, despite William Monroe Trottler's opposition, organized women auxiliaries of the Niagara movement. And the next year, women were in the Niagara movement. But not only that, this is not a collection of elite, Ivy League, wealthy blacks, but rather people who were concerned about the plight of ordinary blacks. Folks who understood the sting and the humiliation of discrimination, who understood that wealth and an Ivy League degree does not insulate you from racism. As a possessor of a Yale law degree, I can certainly say that's true today. And so, whose history is it? Is it the history of African Americans? To say that is to deny the richness, the joy, the beauty, the loveliness, the lyrical beauty of this story. To say it is the history of men and to deny the fact that women like Mary White Ovington and Ida B. Wells wrote the history. It is to deny the fact that black women have always not only supported the freedom struggle, but led the freedom struggle. To ask the question, whose history is it? And to suggest that black history is just for African Americans is to ignore the fact that these men and women breathed the breath of life into a dry piece of parchment called the Declaration of Independence, in which we find the words, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and all women are created equal. You see, because Thomas Jefferson needed a little assist from W.E.B. Du Bois and Mary White Ovington, Monroe Trotter, and all the freedom fighters that came behind. The second question I'd like to take up today is, what do you do with the story of failure in your lives, in all of our lives? There's stories of failure, stories of frustration, stories of disappointment. We can't get away from it. It's a wonder that we're celebrating this story at all. After all, the Niagara movement only lasted a handful of years. It never had more than 30 chapters and a couple hundred members. It never had a national headquarters, a national staff, or a national publication, no newspaper, no notoriety, no publicity. Why are we celebrating at all? Isn't it a story of failure? No, not if you read the history books. Because on the rocky foundation of that failure, men like W.E.B. Du Bois and Ida B. Wells erected a fortress of freedom. On that failure, they built the NAACP. Be careful. Your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren may claim it as a success. The third point of the story is, what role do I have in the story? Now, to answer that question, we have to deal with the whole question, is the story relevant? For some, black history may strike you as an anachronistic exercise in nostalgia. After all, my children don't ride on the back of the bus. After all, I have the right to play golf or to join a country club. or to drive around in a Lexus or a BMW. I don't have to worry about what they did then. I don't have to worry about the tragedies and difficulties of black people then. So is the story relevant? Well, I don't have to consult a history book. All I have to do is read the daily newspaper. In the newspapers, they tell me that blacks and women get but a mere handful, statistically speaking, of contracts in the state of Virginia. When I read the newspaper, it tells me that not only is there discrimination or racial bias in the prosecution of crime, but also that the victims of crime who are black, their lives are valued less. When I read the newspaper and studies put out by the federal government, commissioned by the federal government, we find that there's discrimination in home loans, in business loans. Well, what does that have to do with me? Somebody's asking the question. Well, if you have a baby or a grandbaby, and you're concerned about whether or not if she wears pink ribbons in her hair or he wears blue booties on his feet, will that determine whether or not he or she has a right to compete in this world and to achieve her God-given level of excellence? Are you concerned that someone might determine not just where you live, the neighborhood in which you live, but also who your neighbors are? Shouldn't that be determined by you and your neighbors and not a discriminatory thing? So is the story relevant? I say to you, it's relevant now. And the reason I say it's relevant now is we don't need the obvious bigotry of the lynching rope to excuse and mask the sophistication of discrimination at banks, in government offices, and in our community. When you work in an office and you notice that the office is not as diverse as the community in which it is housed, there's a problem. If you notice in your schools that there's diversity in the classroom, but not diversity on the honor roll in the AP courses and in the International Baccalaureate program, there's a problem. If you notice that there's diversity at the bottom, but not diversity at the top, there's a problem. So the story is relevant. And so if you ask the question, what role do you have in that story? I say to you, you have the role of an American. Americans have always been a cranky and contentious lot. We've been protesting from the time we arrived on these shores. We couldn't get along with the Native Americans. We couldn't get along with one another. We're always protesting and fighting about something. As Americans, let us always be on the side of fighting for what is right. We spend enough time fighting one another over the things that are wrong. And finally, let me close with this thought. I don't want to leave you with the impression that history is only to be found in the gilded pages of books in a library. With all due respect to historians like David Levering Lewis, Doris Kearns Goodwin, John Hope Franklin, and Stephen Ambrose, history is not only written in the ivory tower, but it's also told in our homes and nursing homes. History is not only a matter of the academic recitation of facts, but it's also the stories our mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, and fathers tell us. Our stories, told by our folks, is as important as anything we read. Let me be personal. When I was a teenager, my granddaddy was a barber and a preacher. In my family, we have a lot of bivocational preachers. I'm not sure if it's because we're all poor, or because this country's always had a high rate of unemployment for black folks. But as a young man, I would spend time in my granddaddy's barbershop, and he'd tell these stories about civil rights. And I spent the time flipping through every magazine, reading about recent history, not really paying to what my granddaddy was saying. A number of years later, I found myself at a sophisticated, urbane, intellectual cocktail party at Yale Law School, listening to folks chit-chat about nothing. And they're flipping through this New York Times reviewed book of photography called In Our Rights. And they're flipping through this book of photography. And one of my classmates comes to a picture. And the picture says, the Reverend James Twingle. And I looked at the picture and I said, wait a minute, that's my granddad. I forgot the company I was keeping, or else I would have said, that's my grandfather. I said, that's my granddad. And I read beneath the picture, said Reverend James Twingle ran for the United States House of Representatives in 1946 when the Klan was stalking the land to get black folks to register and vote. The stories he told me as a little boy were true. Those stories are history. Your stories are history. Be clear. You don't need a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian like David Levering Lewis to validate your story. The story your grandma told you about being the first woman to get a government job, that's history. The story your granddaddy told you about starting a business, that's history. The story the deacons tell you at the church about starting a church when nobody said they could start a church, that's history. The story your mama told you about putting you into school, getting you into college with student loans and scholarships, that's history. Whether you hail from Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Ireland, or Greece, you got history in your family. And the question, or the thought I want to leave you with today, is hold on to your story. Hold on to your story. When you go to the nursing home, and your grandma is holding your hand, and she's telling you what she did to get over, hold on to your story. When your granddad, whose eyesight is failing, whose voice is failing, is telling you about what he did to get to where he is, hold on to your story. When those folk in church who reminisce about the civil rights movement and tell you all the things they did to transform racial battlegrounds into a pristine playground where our children can laugh, play, and sing red, yellow, black, brown, and white, we're all precious in God's sight. Hold on to your story. And when somebody tells you, look at all that we did with what little we had, think about all that you can do with all that you've been given. And hold on to your story.
I think Reverend Brooks belonged to cake practice and kept up being. At this time, we'll have a special recognition award by the program chairman, Ms. Mary Lyle.
I am just overjoyed. I don't know about you, but with the speaker, the program in itself, the dancers, it's just overwhelming. And I really, really appreciate it. Did you enjoy that? Very shortly, I have a short story to tell you that relates to what Reverend Brooks has spoke on. And we have not talked. And you said, hold on to your story. I have a story. I like to acknowledge, first of all, some folks And let me say this, Prince William County, and we pride ourselves on this, has been very supportive and supporting the program with their contributions. So I'd like to at least acknowledge the various folks that have contributed. Adult Detention Center, and it's on the back of your program, but at least recognizing these folks because they contributed to this program for allowing us to do this. Adult Detention Center, Circuit Court Clerk's Office, Communications Division of the County Exec Office, Community Services Board, County Attorney's Office, County Exec's Office, Department of Social Services, Department of Fire and Rescue, Department of Public Works, Human Rights Commission, Joseph L. and Ann C. Howard, Office of Criminal Justice Service, Office of Housing and Community Development, Office of Information and Technology, OIT, Planning Office, the Police Department, Prince William County Board of Supervisors, and along with that, Supervisor Jenkins gave an addition, Supervisor Maureen Cadigan, and we want to thank them over and over. Thank you. I would also like to, at this time, at least recognize the speaker and give him an award. On behalf of the Committee of Black History, we respect and appreciate your speech and the words that you have given us and the thoughts, and also questions that hopefully will remain in our mind as far as the answers as well. Thank you so much. Carolyn Robinson wasn't aware that she was going to get her award as well. But this is just in recognition of the work that you have done, all of the work, your efforts. We truly appreciate it. You're well rewarding of this and more. This is just to say thank you. Okay? Yes. Okay. Carolyn will come back up and accept an award that I appreciate having the honor to recognize. He is my Uncle Jesse, but it's Jesse J. Mays. And we say, hold on to our story. I have a story to tell. This man has been an inspiration in my life. And I think that in the program overall, we should at least honor the folks that we know, our family members as well, anyone that's gone through the struggle. And having this privilege, I'm pleased. This gentleman was to be here. Unfortunately, he was unable to attend. He's 91 years old, yet he is still alive and well. And I'm thankful for that. But I just want to give honor to him, and this is, again, someone who has paved the way and through the struggle. So just a little background on my uncle, Jesse J. Mays. One man, 3 career, and a lifetime of achievement. This is the story of Jesse James Mays, a native of Emporia, Virginia. Mr. Mays has seen the world and returned to help pave the way for others. After receiving a certificate degree from St. Paul College in Lawrenceville, Virginia, in 1937 he went on to earn a bachelor's degree in Florida A&M University. In 1939, a master's degree he received from Virginia State University, and in his master's degree in 62. He later studied at the University of Mass and Purdue University. Between earning degrees, Mr. Mays took time out to serve his country as a member of the 555th Parachute Infantry Battalion, the 1st Black Airborne Division in the U.S. Army. Mr. Mays entered the military as a private. By retirement in 1964, he had advanced to the rank of lieutenant colonel. His last assignment was a professor of military science at Virginia State University. After retirement from the military, Mr. Mays stayed with VSU as a professor of mathematics and computer science and director of the University Computer Center. He would later take computing positions with Federal City College, Washington. and the University of District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. A proponent of higher education, Mr. Mays was appointed to the Virginia State University Board of Visitors. He retired from the university system in 1979, and it opened a new chapter for Mr. Mays, one of public service. Mr. Mays has been involved with the advancement of southern Chesterfield County. His election to the County Board of Supervisors in 1984 made him the first black to sit on the board. He served as vice chairman for 2 years and was re-elected to a second 4-year term. As always, a gentleman, Mr. Mays' presence on the Board of Supervisors was a positive influence to increase diversity in county government and business development. His crusades range from the high-tech computerization of administrative functions to the very basic water, sewer, and lighting services. For his constituents, youth was always on Mr. Mays' agenda, including park improvements, athletic leagues, computers in school, and scholarships for county students. Mr. Mays is affiliated with the Prince William Hall Masons, Kiwanis International, and the Phi Alpha fraternity. He is a public servant, he was an educator, a military officer, a civic leader, and has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to humankind. I am honored and proud to have him as my uncle, and I thank you. I'd like to also ask the program committee to please come forward. Just want to recognize you and let the folks know that you worked so hard. Ebony Shields, Patrice Summers, Joanna Lewis, Sean Williams, and Denise is not with Denise in the back of Human Rights, Kim Wine. I think I've named everyone. Did I miss anyone? Thank you so much for your hard work. And Carolyn is accepting the award from my uncle. I appreciate it so much.
Well, I realize I'm keeping you from the food. I heard an amen out there. I do have to note that when you get to be at the end of a program like this, the last speaker, you really are appreciative of the new chairs. By now, all of you a year ago would be squirming and probably actually have left the room. So you would have stayed through Reverend Brooks, clearly. But by now, you might be headed out the door. Tony, there you are. I know you didn't have your drum, but there were other people up here dancing. Apparently you left something else at home today. I want to join in thanks to the Black History Month Committee, a group of employees who come together every year to do an incredible amount of work to put together not one but 3 programs, all of the kind of quality of the program you saw today. And think what we learn and what we discover or rediscover when we experience the kind of programs that are put together by that group is that, we have a very rich history as a country and a community, and our history is not all good. But I think there's also embedded in the information that we get and the incredible speeches that we hear and in the challenges that are offered, there is hope, and there's an element of optimism that I want to spend just a few seconds pointing out and pointing to. One of the things that we find as we go through the Black History events, and one of the things that we find when we go to things like the Martin Luther King Oratorical Contest held each year here in this community, is we find out about individuals like the 29 Men at Niagara, like Dr. King and Malcolm X. We hear from people like Walter Fauntleroy and Benita Fitzgerald Mosley and our own Reverend Brooks. And what we learn from them is that leadership matters, and leaders make a difference. They made a difference 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, and they make a difference today. The county and those of us who work for Prince William County have really a remarkable opportunity, but also something that I would liken to a sacred trust. And that is we are in a position as employees of the county government to make a difference in our community. Many of you heard me say that we have in our organization a leadership philosophy. It says a lot of things. It says a lot about what we believe about people. It says a lot about what we believe about work. But one of the most important things it says is that every single employee who works for Prince William County both has the opportunity to and is expected to engage in the work of leadership. We are all expected and have the opportunity to be leaders. But what does that mean? Well, we know when we do work, part of what we do every day is we operate whatever system we're engaged in. If we're the police department, we patrol the streets, or we do criminal investigation. You're here? If we're in social services, we may do a whole variety of things, helping those who are in need of our assistance, whether it's helping folks get some assistance, get a job, get into housing. We're in community services board. We're helping people for a whole variety of reasons again, but including helping them with battles against substance abuse, helping them with issues regarding mental health, helping them with conditions of mental retardation. If we're in the Area Agency on Aging, we're providing a senior center where people can go to adult daycare, where elderly can receive care, meals in people's homes, long-term care. Everybody that works for the county government spends time operating a system. That's not really leadership, though. We also come together in groups or individuals from time to time to improve the systems that we operate, make them better, make them work faster, make it easier for our customers to get into them, make it the products we deliver to the customer once they're in the system of a higher quality. That's improving the system, but that's not really leadership either. Leadership is where we spend time and energy trying to create the future. And we have a unique opportunity because we work for Prince William County to help create the future here. We know about the history. While there's a lot of wonderful things there, it's clearly not all good. But we don't have to accept that for the future. We can make a difference for the future. We can make the future be a future that is more marked by good than not good. The Board of Supervisors and the community have issued a challenge to all of us, the entire community, and the challenge is we want Prince William County to be a premier community. We match that passion in our own organizational vision because we say we want to work in a community and help it become the best. Those of you who have had a chance to engage in a process we're in right now called the Senate Productivity and Quality Award process know that we accept the obligation of taking our organization from good and maybe very good to great. By doing that, by engaging in the leadership work within the organization, we begin to have an impact on our community, we begin to help to create the future, and we begin to create a future that can be all good. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'd like to ask that you give the Black History Month Committee one more round of applause, and I'm going to walk off the stage while you're clapping.
Thank you. On behalf of the Prince William County Black History Committee, I would like to thank everyone for coming today in order to support another successful year in celebration of Black history. To our honored guest, Reverend Cornell Brooks, thank you for coming today and bringing us a magnificent presentation. Thank you, sir. And we are grateful to all that have participated and have utilized their talents and their gift today. Special thanks to Mary Lively, the program coordinator, for giving of herself to take on the responsibility. Your staff on your dedication and your hard work in bringing this event together. At this time, I would like to have Pastor Cotty come forward and give us the benediction and the blessing of the Spirit.
We have been tremendously blessed today and challenged. Let's go to the throne of grace. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchased of God, born of his spirit, washed in his blood. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Reverend Brooks said, whose story is it? Our history is painful. Sometimes we don't like to think about it, but it's not about us. It's his story. Talked about 29 people that made a significant difference. And I'm thinking of 3 people who made a significant difference. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. When they said, let us make man in our image. The things that we go through are not for us, but for him. Our history is his story. And everything that we go through life, we should magnify and glorify him. So our history really should be to uplift God. Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful occasion, all the work that have gone into making this moment possible. We've been reminded of our history, but yet, even through the pain of our history, you are glorified. And we've got some difficult days ahead. But through it all, we can make it. Because we are a nation that trusts in you. Our foundation is built on you. Now bless us all. Keep us in your ever-loving care. Do these things, and we be so careful to give you all the glory, honor, and praise. There's food waiting, Lord. Bless the food for the nourishment of our bodies. Bless those who are less fortunate than we are. And now unto him who is able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless before the throne of grace, to the only wise God, he who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we are able to ask or think, according to the power that worketh within us. To the only wise God be both power and dominion, world without end. Let us all say together, amen.
Again, thank you all for coming.
We have an insulated glass, 2 panes of glass. The boat sash slide and tilt for cleaning purposes. The grid work, if you choose to have the grid, is between the glass.
Easy for cleaning, right?
Easy for cleaning. All of the windows come with low E and argon gas. That's a feature of it now, which means all our windows are energy efficient.
Okay.
They have this Energy Star issued by the government. Okay. And with today's heating costs, it's critically important that you get that package with your window, because eventually that package alone will pay for the windows.